Hello and welcome to Galaxy TV News, our top stories. Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje inaugurates committee to establish Ruga settlement. Department of Petroleum Resources seals 10 fuel stations, uncovers smuggling depot. On the international scene, Dutch Supreme Court upholds partial liability of the Netherlands for the deaths of around 350 Bosniak Muslims. In the sporting arena, Super Eagles welcomed by federal government chieftains after arriving following their participation at the 2019 African Cup of Nations. It's good to have you join us on the news. I'm Joseph Oko. We begin this bulletin from Kano State, where the state governor Abdullahi Ganduje has inaugurated a committee that will see to the establishment of Ruga settlements for headers from the state and others from across the nation. While addressing the committee after the inauguration, the governor said setting up Ruga settlements will put an end to the persistent wandering of herdsmen and also help expand Kano State economically.
Production of master plan of the Ruga settlement, a whole master plan. The town planner will do that. Determine the type of social services and infrastructure to be provided in the Ruga settlement, e.g. veterinary hospital, veterinary clinics, provision of water, provision of schools, markets, etc.
The committee is expected to identify suitable areas within the state for the establishment and identify markets for the products that may come out from the Ruga settlement. The chairman of the committee, Dr. Jubrila Mohammed, said they will abide by rules strictly in terms of reference of the committee by coming up with a workable plan within the next 3 weeks.
As an inclusive effort to bring these people within the economic net of Kano State and Nigeria in general. We thank you very much for this. And I want to promise you that, given the caliber of members that we have, we'll take this assignment with all seriousness. We'll do exactly what should be done for the interest of the Kano State people and for the interest of Nigeria in general.
Families of unpaid and retired textile workers have upheld the peaceful protest in Kaduna State, demanding the payment of their severance benefits. The ex-workers, under the umbrella of Coalition of Close Unpaid Textile Workers Association, in an emotional demonstration, appealed to government to come to their aid. President of the association, Wodam Simdik, who spoke on their behalf, said over 2,800 of their colleagues have died, adding that if the textiles market is open, Nigerian youths will be employed, which will reduce the social vices being experienced in the north. Simdik further called on the Nigerian Consumer Service to stop the importation of finished textile goods in the country.
If textile industries reopen, our youth, the crisis, the domestic crisis, the crisis all over Nigeria, the insecurity and all other things will stop. During this closure between 2002 and 2004, there are a lot of happenings. What happened to us during the closing without our entitlement? Our members, over 2,800 workers died. That is why you can see casket of 3 now laying on ground without collecting their gratuity. I say here in Ketel, we have somebody that put in over 49 years. He died without collecting gratuity. He's number 1.
Away from that, the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, has sealed 10 filling stations and uncovered smuggling depot of petroleum products in Ruga settlements in a rural village in Mubi South local government area of Adamawa State, near the Cameroonian border. The Adamawa State Controller of Department of Petroleum Resources, Ibrahim Siroma, led his team for a tour to sealed illegal filling stations operating without license within and outside the state capital. Siroma, who was visibly angry over the smuggling activities, blamed the security agents for not doing enough to stop smuggling of petroleum products to other countries at the economic risk of Nigerians.
Tolerate any filling station keeping loaded trucks in the sun without discharging them into the underground storage tanks. Every truck that comes to the filling station must empty its content into the underground storage tanks.
The controller, however, disclosed that the fight against smuggling of petroleum products in Adamawa State will not spare anybody despite one's political position. He said this while selling an illegal filling station owned by a member of the Adamawa State House of Assembly, Batia Wesley.
So a lot of them are in a hurry. The moment they get the approval to construct, once they finish, they will just start selling without coming back to DPR to say, look, we have to check all the safety measures that we have asked them to put in place. If that is done, and then everything they put, if they meet our standards, then we allow them to operate. That's how it is done.
You tuned into Galaxy TV News. Still coming up after the break, staff school pupils appeal to the federal government to reinstate disengaged teachers. Stay tuned.
Molfix is 2018 most selling diaper in Nigeria and also the global leading premium quality baby diaper in 2018. You should try Molfix.
Welcome back to the news. Now, for more updates and latest news, visit the website galaxytvonline.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. You can follow or interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV, or tweet at us at GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow or tag us on our Instagram page at Official Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments. Let's talk education now. Pupils of the University of Ibadan Staff School have appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo to prevail on the management of the university to reinstate the sacked teachers in the school. A cross-section of the pupils and representatives of the parents' body who spoke during the peaceful protest urged the government to pay undivided attention to quality education. Correspondent Kunle Ojo has more in this report.
The students, armed with placards of various inscriptions, converged on the main entrance of the Vice-Chancellor's office to express their displeasure about the happenings in the staff school. They appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, and members of the National Assembly to prevail on the management of the institution to implement the court judgment and reinstate the sacked teachers.
I made the appeal to Mr. President to pay our teachers' salary and do not sack them. For our sake and for our future, this is the right time for us to learn, study, and be leaders of tomorrow.
I'm here to appeal to Mr. President and the Senator that they should please appeal to the Vice Chancellor, Professor Idowu Olayinka, to please honor and obey the court ruling.
I'm here to tell the Vice President that he should please pay my teacher's salary.
I'm here to tell the VC that they should pay our teacher's salary because education is the best thing in life that we can achieve.
The students also urged the government to give undivided attention to quality education in the country for rapid socio-economic development. The representative of the parents' body and teachers of the staff school appeals to management of the University of Ibadan to ensure the immediate reinstatement of the sacked teachers and pay their salaries.
Concerned parents, we are concerned about the future of our children. We are the future of this nation. And we are very, very much concerned about them. We are appealing to the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, the VC, Olawale, please save the future of our children.
These are children are the future of tomorrow, and they have just said, please take care of teachers so that we can teach these children with happiness. All these ones that are disturbing our lives, we've taught their children. Their children are in high places now.
The chairman of the Senior Staff Association of University of Ibadan chapter, Comrade Wale Akinremi, accused the management of the institution of disrespect for the rule of law.
Money, everything. These who are sent abroad on scholarships to return to this country and take over from our founding fathers and continue progression of development in this country. But unfortunately, it was not the dreams of our forefathers, of our founding fathers, that we are realizing today. In their graves, they will shiver, they will sweat, they will cry.
The peaceful protest by the students, teachers, and members of SANU disrupted activities around the Vice Chancellor's office. From Ibadan, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
Now staying with education. Towards achieving a democratic culture that works for all, Nigerians have been admonished to access and recommit themselves to the nation beyond South. Former Vice-Chancellor Tai Solarin, University of Education, gave the admonition at the 3rd anniversary lecture of pen-pushing online platform held in Abeokuta. In a lecture titled The Nigerian State Political Evolution and the Multi-Party Democracy, Education to the Rescue, the academic said despite the complex composition of the Nigerian state and its ethnic and religious diversity, multi-party democracy is still much preferred. According to her, democracy encourages alliance system and the formation of coalitions. She noted that in countries where it works, coalition is beautiful, but in Nigeria, it is based on self-interest. The academic said it is time for Nigerians to be involved in recreating the political space, structures and content of the Nigerian dreams by addressing issues that beset Nigeria's democratic process. On his part, founder pen-pushing platform Dimeji Kayode Adedeji called for the reduction of political parties in the country. He noted that the increasing number of multi-party system amounts to waste of time and energy.
Born out of any noble altruistic or nationalistic considerations, but it is a product of our culturally embedded pathological selfishness. It is time to evolve a democratic culture that moves from the concept of me.
Multi-party system is a waste of time, waste of resources, waste of energy, because it is something that looks very odd. When you have uncountable, if I can use that word, of parties, you end up messing up the whole system.
It's time now for another break, and we'll be with you shortly.
Heartfelt thanks to Nigerian mothers for leading us to the top. 99% of mothers who tried Molfix would recommend it. You should also try Molfix.
Welcome back to the news. Now talking security matters. The Bayelsa State Police Command have paraded 29 suspected criminals, including suspected killers of 2 National Union Service Corps members and a policeman. The suspects were paraded at the police headquarters in Yenagoa with hundreds of arms and ammunition, as well as recovered cars used for their operations. Speaking on the arrest, the Bayelsa State Commissioner of Police, Uche Anozia, said they were arrested at different locations across the state.
2019, operatives of Pofada acted on a tip-off and arrested one, Ibimobowe Adisemo, 33 years of age, Lance Corporal Williams Babofa, 30 years of age, and Ipi Malafakumo, 28 years of age, along East-West Road, who were coming to Yenagoa for an armed robbery operation.
The Bayelsa State Police boss warned miscreants to turn a new leaf as some of the suspects spoke on their level of involvement.
I commend the efforts of traditional rulers, vigilantes, youth bodies, faith-based organizations for their invaluable contribution in assisting the police with useful information.
Brought me to this place is because I kidnapped 2 boys.
At where?
Opolo.
I stand at the ATM stand most times, wait for, according to the directives they gave it to me. When maybe a customer withdraw some money, then I make a call. That is it.
On share 250. Second time, I covered on 120. That is some other time 50, 70. And I'm not the head. There is somebody I follow to do before, but the person have problem with me. That's why I decide to leave him.
Now, the Nigerian Air Force has pledged its commitment to qualitative education for children and civilians within its area of operations. This was disclosed by the Commandant of Nigerian Air Force Secondary School in Port Harcourt during the 24th graduation ceremony of the institution. Addressing the graduating students and parents who witnessed the occasion, the Commandant and guest speakers said the school is keen into the vision of the Chief of Air Staff.
Air Force Secondary School Port Harcourt is already keen in, as usual, to the key drivers and vision of the Chief of the Air Staff, which is human capacity development through robust and result-oriented training for enhanced professional performance.
Determined to be a group of people that will bring a drastic and systematic change. With you, let us see hope rise again. Set of 2019 of AFSS Port Harcourt. Raise the banner.
Also addressing the students, the Commander 115 Special Operations Group Air Commando Elijah Ebowe, who was represented by the squadron leader and others, urged students to be guided by standards.
On an occasion like this, it is not just the celebration of top achievers and award recipients, but also it's about each student here taking stock of the result of his or her labors, attitude, motivation, and thinking of a way forward.
The school has a good standard and discipline, and I'm sure the graduates here will be successful in their endeavor. In whatever you do in life, try to always have a positive mental attitude.
Glory be to the Almighty God. We are passing out, not an easy journey. All the drills, parades, front jumps, hangings will never be forgotten. I would like to encourage the upcoming students, don't be afraid. Focus and determination is all it takes.
Time now for some sporting action. Super Eagles back to Nigeria after clinching bronze at the African Cup of Nations. Here is Onyinyechi Ogu.
In the world of sport, the Super Eagles arrived at Abuja on Friday afternoon from Cairo following their participation at the 2019 African Cup of Nations in Egypt. Gannett Rose men defeated the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia 1-0 on Wednesday to secure the bronze medal in the competition. The players and the officials left the Cairo International Airport in the early hours on Friday morning and arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport around noon. They were met on arrival by Secretary to the Federal Government, Boss Mustafa, and other top dignitaries.
We now take you outside the shores of Nigeria to track stories making headlines.
Welcome to the international scene. The Dutch Supreme Court has upheld the partial liability of the Netherlands for the death of around 350 Bosniak Muslims in Srebrenica, who were expelled from a United Nations base and subsequently murdered by Serb forces in the July 1995 genocide. The Hague-based court on Friday ruled that Dutch UN peacekeepers could have let the Bosniaks remain at the base and that by expelling them, they had subjected them to possible abuse or death. The court, however, reduced the amount of damages relatives of the murdered men are eligible to claim from the Dutch state, lowering the percentage of liability in a 2017 ruling from 30% to 10%. Survivors are now likely to receive only a few thousand euros. It said peacekeepers had only a slim chance of preventing the death of the men. The Dutch state bears very limited liability in the murder of Srebrenica case, the Supreme Court said. 2 years ago, a lower court had concluded that the Dutch forces' action deprived the men of any chance of survival. Had they stayed in the compound, they would still have had a 30% chance of surviving. The ruling concludes 2 decades of litigation filed by the Mothers of Srebrenica Association, which had sued for compensation.
Now, for more news and updates, visit our website galaxytvonline.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. You can follow or interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV, or tweet at us at GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Official Galaxy TV, a social media platform user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments. And that's the news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Joseph Oko.